What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the G-Rat Show. I'm G-Rat. Barcelona, they finally did it. It looks like they have signed Dani Olmo. Honestly, it's 2 weeks now, basically, before the start of the season. I was getting worried that they weren't going to make any signings. At least they finally made one. I definitely know it seems like there's some mixed feelings about this. Now, I've kind of come to terms and accepted it, and I am happy with it. I think there's a lot of good, so we're going to talk about the good, and then I have a couple concerns, and I want to talk about those as well. So we're going to discuss the good first, and then the bad. There's a couple other things I want to talk to you guys about as well, so we'll cover that after Dani Olmo. But before we jump in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We're getting close to that 10,000 subscriber mark that I've been working really hard to get to. I want to get there, so hopefully this helps with some cool partnerships and brand collaborations. So hopefully we can start doing some cool giveaways, maybe jerseys and stuff like that with you guys, so we can make this more of a cool and exciting environment for everybody involved. So if you guys could help me there, I would really appreciate it. Now let's jump in and talk about Dani Olmo. All right, so I'm gonna ask you bear with me a little bit during this video because I've had an extremely long day with my normal job, and I don't think I can stare at a screen and lights for that much longer. So I might be not looking directly at the camera for a lot of this, so bear with me on that. But what's so weird about this transfer with Dani Olmo is I really didn't think, and I don't think anybody thought that this was like his name to Barcelona. It didn't even really start circulating until I feel like mid end of the Euros. And then all of a sudden it was just like, wow, this is Barcelona's, one of their main transfer targets. I think if the Euros showed us anything, he's class. And it's not like, wow, he was pretty good in the Euros. It was, no, he was one of the top players in the Euros, 100%. Not, oh, he was one of the best players for Spain. He was, but he was one of the best players on the pitch, if not the best, in some of these really important matches for Spain. And to be honest, if he plays like that for Barcelona, it's huge because, what he provides from an attacking perspective as a midfielder, because he can play as one of those two center midfielders. He can play as a cam. He can even play as like a left winger. He provides an attacking ability that honestly, I don't think any other midfielders at Barcelona are really able to do. Now, again, Pedri and Gundogan, we would have liked to see them more in that attacking free type of role. But I think the way that Xavi had his tactics, and with Pedri being off and on injured so much, Gundogan at times had to play that holding midfielding role next to Frankie de Jong at times, or Christensen, and we found he was sitting really deep when he's more effective on the attack, and we know Dani Olmo is never going to be playing in that role. There's no way. He's always going to be a more attacking player, which is great for Barcelona. I think he's going to be an extremely important link to Robert Lewandowski and Lamine Yamal and whoever else is playing on the left wing. He's going to be a great connector from the midfield and the attack. And to be honest, I think he's going to score quite a few goals as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him score 10 goals or more this season for Barcelona. From that perspective alone, I think it's really, really good for Barcelona because they're kind of missing that, attacking midfielder type of player that can score and wants to score. I feel like Barcelona for so long, it's been ingrained in their DNA to just possess, and they find their way in front of the goal and they keep possession and they pass. So the stereotypical number 10 type of position, it never really seemed like it was necessary, especially when you have, Messi, Neymar, Suarez, and all those types of players. You already have enough people that can score. Iniesta could play and, help with the attack a lot, and it's just different now. I don't want to say he's going to be similar to like Jude Bellingham when he was at Real Madrid for last season, because in the first part of the season he was scoring a lot, but he was almost playing as like a false nine. And we're going to have Lewandowski playing as the striker. So he's not going to be that high up the pitch, but he's going to be high up enough where he's going to be involved in a lot of goal scoring opportunities. And I think he's going to be very, very important, and he's going to provide so many opportunities for himself and Barcelona. One of the things I noticed a lot last season was the frustration from Lewandowski. I'm sure everyone saw it. I even made videos about it and complained a little bit about it. But there were some moments that I noticed. I noticed it with Fermin Lopez, sometimes with Pedri, a lot with the younger players. He would get really frustrated due to the lack of link-up play that they had, the selfishness sometimes. They wouldn't pass him the ball. And again, he's a little extreme with that. But I think Olmo and his experience, he doesn't need to score. He's not going to be selfish, but he can. But he's also extremely creative and unselfish, where I think he's going to be able to provide a lot of support to Lewandowski. And I think Lewandowski actually is going to benefit a lot from this transfer. with Dani Olmo. And in the big matches, if Lewandowski's not scoring, if Rafinha can't score, if Lamine Yamal isn't scoring, Dani Olmo could be that guy that saves Barcelona in some of these big matches, that can come up clutch in the Champions League. They need another player that can score. No, he's not going to score you 25 a year, but he's going to score you 10, maybe 12, maybe 15. Provide you a good amount of assists too, and I think he's going to be a big factor for Barcelona's attack and controlling the midfield. And I actually think it's a really good signing because, to be honest, the few negatives that I have, and there's really not many. First and foremost is just I want to know how they line up, because if Barcelona is entirely healthy, I really don't know who plays and who's benched, because obviously Gavi is not going to be ready at the start of the season. I have no idea with Pedri, but let's just assume that they are 100% healthy. Who starts? Because you have Frankie, Christensen potentially can play as the CDM as well. Then you have Gavi, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, Fermin Lopez, and now Dani Olmo. I don't know who starts because, from a talent perspective, I want to say Pedri, Frankie de Jong, and Gundogan, but then I want to say Dani Olmo. And then I want to say Gavi. I literally, I don't even know at this point. It's so frustrating because sometimes I think too much depth. I don't want to say it's a bad thing because there's always injuries, especially with Pedri and with Barcelona in general. I just don't know who starts. You don't want to risk, Pedri or Gundogan or Dani Olmo sitting on the bench for 70% of these matches. So that's one of the major concerns that I have, is bringing in another midfielder. If Barcelona is healthy this season, big if, but if they are, who starts? Part of me thinks if everyone's healthy, it's Frankie de Jong as the holding midfielder, Gundogan or Pedri, and then Dani Olmo as the cam. Now, I wouldn't be surprised personally to see Marc Casado or Marc Bernal, who I've been watching some of his highlights lately, Marc Bernal, and he's 6'3", huge, great passer. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if one of those two players starts to kind of slowly make their way into the first team and get some playing time, because I think all along Barcelona might have thought, you know what, we don't need to go out and get a real CDM because we have two very good players in the academy that we're going to bring up, that we're going to work themselves in. Maybe that's their plan, and I'm okay with it, but I think we have to start slowly working them in. And to be honest, maybe we reach a point where it's one of those two players, Frankie de Jong, and then maybe Dani Olmo, or maybe Barcelona alters their formation, starts playing more like City, because City has a lot of midfielders and a lot of attacking midfielders, and the way that they play, they're able to kind of put all of them on the same pitch. We see Foden, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, Doku, and Kevin De Bruyne all on the pitch at the same time, and in Alvarez we've seen at the same time too. So I just think there might have to be a little bit of formation change to fit some of these players, to fit more of these players on the pitch at the same time. That's my biggest concern, is honestly there's so many options if everyone's healthy. Now also Dani Olmo, there's been a little bit of reports where he's a little injury prone. If he's not, great. Let's just hope he stays healthy. But that's honestly my biggest concern. Obviously, a lot of Barcelona fans, we've been concerned. We need the left winger. Who's the Neymar replacement? It's been 4, 5, 6, 7 years now, 8 years, and we still haven't found that long-term replacement. We thought it was Nico. I just don't think it is. And then we want a CDM, long-term replacement for Busquets. They're not going out to get one. What's their plan? Is it someone from La Masia? I don't know. So maybe that's their plan. But I'm happy with the transfer. I'm upset about the Nico Williams aspect because, again, I'm all for being loyal. If you have family at the club, his brother's there. But not everyone's going to get a chance to play for Barcelona. And I think most footballers' dreams, the best players usually find their way to Real Madrid or Barcelona. He's not going to go to Real Madrid. They already have everyone they need and more. This was his chance, and I don't know if Barca was bluffing when they said if he doesn't come this year, the door's shut, but it's really unfortunate. I just don't understand, because Laporta said that the money was here and they could make that signing. So it's unfortunate, and maybe there's still hope, but I don't think so. But I want to know what you guys think down below. Are you happy with the Dani Olmo transfer? And what do you think he provides to Barcelona that maybe gives them an edge that they didn't have last year? And let me know if you think there's a chance Nico Williams could still join Barcelona. And if not, where does he go next season if he doesn't stay at Athletic Club? And then do you think Marc Casado and Bernal, do you think they could make their way into the first team? And what are your expectations with them moving forward? Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate the support, and I hope to see you guys back here next time on the G Red Show.